Hey, what's up, y'all? Winston, can you grab me some batteries? These just died. Thanks, bro. Give it up for Winston. All right. Hey, you guys doing good tonight? I am excited to see y'all. If I haven't met you, I know we got some guests here tonight, and just know you are welcome here. You are loved. You are valued here. And so if you're a guest, if it's your first time, I'm so glad that you're here. Our life groups are so glad that you're here, and we're going to have an awesome rest of our time together. I want to start things out tonight by playing a game, okay? And here's what we're going to do with this game. This game is all about your knowledge of a Toy Story movie. So I need two really, really smart, intelligent, brave, stupendous, brilliant Toy Story people. Kylie is about to jump out of her seat through the roof. So Kylie, come on up. Give it up for my friend Kylie. And let's see. We got Kylie. I need someone else that just looks really excited to do this. You got somebody, Winnie? Do you know a lot about Toy Story? Oh, he doesn't seem like he's got the confidence right now. Landon, someone over here? All right, come on up, Owen. Give it up for my friend Owen. All right. Okay, I'm switching mics. Maybe. Here we go. Say hi to everybody. 1-1. Sweet. Hey, thank you, Winston. I appreciate it. Okay, here's how we're going to do this, guys. Toy Story 1 trivia. You cannot help them out. All right? You cannot help them out because they are actually going to give me both an answer in my ear, and we're going to keep tally of boys versus girls. Boys versus girls. All right? So let me hear it from the boys in the room from my friend Owen. Let me hear it from the boys. That was weak. Let me hear from the ladies in the room. Whoa. All right. Okay, here we go. First question up on the screen. Take a look. First question. What's the name of the piggy bank on Toy Story 1? Don't shout it out. No help. Okay? I'm going to start with Owen. Okay? Since the boys were a little bit weak on cheering him on, he's going to show you what he's got, all right? So in my ear, tell me. Okay? All right. Owen said, tell me that one again. Owen said porker. And actually, I thought it was like, Dr. Evil pork chops or something. So I thought he was really close. Kylie said ham. So let's see what the answer is. Ham is the answer. Girls 1, boys 0. Girls 1, boys 0. Hey, come on now. Help a brother out. Okay, let's see the next question up here on the screen. Girls 1, boys 0. Which letter is written backwards on Woody's boot? So there's a word written on the back of Woody's boot, and there's only one of the letters is written backwards. Only one letter is written backwards. There's a word written on his boot, but only one is backwards. I'm going to start with Kylie. Okay. All right. So I got an answer of the letter B, and I got an answer of the letter Y. Do you guys think either of those are right? Which one is right? It's D. And what's the word? Andy. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure. Answer on the screen. The N. Oh, it was not D. It was N. I don't know, but it was. So we still got 1-0. I know, it really doesn't. But apparently it can be backwards, all right? All right, let's see the next one. Next question. What's the name of the pizza company in the movie? Pizza company in the movie, don't shout it out. Pizza company in the movie. Okay? All right? I got Pizza Planet and I got Space Blazers. Which one do you think is right? Pizza Planet. Let's see it. Let's see what's right. Pizza Planet. All right. Girls 2, guys 0. Hey, Owen, I'm going to help the guys on this. You get a phone a friend to help you on this next question, but they don't see it yet. So you got to pick a friend now to help you on the next one. So choose wisely. You got 5 seconds. 5. He's got Grayson. Give it up for my friend Grayson. Come on up, Grayson. All right, let's see the next one on the screen. Next question. What's the name of Andy's sister? What is the name of Andy's sister? You guys talk amongst yourselves? Yes. Okay. Solid choice. Okay. Solid choice. We got the answers of Molly and Sammy. Either of those ring a bell? Which one? Molly? Let's see it up on the screen. Dun, dun, dun. Molly. The girls are dominating, guys. We got to pick it up, dudes. We got to pick it up because we only got a few left. We got 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. Let's see the next question. What symbol does Andy's neighbor Sid have on his shirt? I remember this because I only remember the parts with Sid in it because he blew stuff up, and I like to do that. All right. Nice. All right. Both answers say skull. Feeling pretty good about that? Let's see. Nice. Let's give it up for the guys. Right now, I think the girls are up 4-1. 4-1. All right. We're going to do a daily double on this one. This one's worth 2 points. Here's how we're going to do it. Owen, Kylie, come up here to this table. Okay? Hand up like this. Okay? First one to hit the table after you hear the question. You can't look at the screen if you know it. Okay? You can't, yeah, it is, but you're faster because girls rule and boys rule, right? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to tell you guys the question. You can't look at the screen, okay? I'm going to tell you guys the question. First one to hit it, you're the judge for me. Okay, Caleb? All right, here we go. Here's the question. Dun, dun, dun. Who is Rex's moving buddy? Owen got it first, so he gets the first shot at it.
I don't know. Slinky.
Okay. You get to hear his guess. It's a daily double. Okay, I got Slinky and I got Ham. Did any of those seem right? Rex's moving buddy. Got Slinky and I got Ham. Let's see the answer on the screen. It is Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head. All right, hey, that was fun. Let's do this one again. Let's do this one again. Here we go. Next question. You guys can't look at the screen. What's the name of Sid's dog? Owen.
I think it was Killer.
Killer. I wish. I don't know if it was Killer, but that would be an awesome name. I don't think that was it. Pick it. All right. So I got Killer and I got all right. I had 2 incorrect answers from Mrs. Kylie over here. I'm not able to repeat either of those. So let's see what the correct answer is on the screen. Scud. Kylie, you were right with the first 3 letters, so I'm going to give you the point on that one. Girls with 5, guys with 1. Girls win, guys lose. Give it up for our contestants, guys. Nice job, Kylie. Nice job, Owen. Nice job. All right. Focus it in, guys. All right, we're in week 2. Anybody know what our series is called? Yes. Wow. Somebody tell me the word that encompasses this series, what this series is all about. It's one word. Yeah. Not story. Identity. Yes. Identity. Now, somebody tell me what identity means. Somebody tell me what that means. Yes. An image, what people think of you. Somebody else tell me what they think identity means. Yeah. Who you are. Okay, I feel like you cheated on the screen the last 2 answers. Okay, somebody else tell me what you think identity means. If your identity is found in something, what does that mean? If your identity is found in something. Yeah. Finding out who you are, okay? Yeah. All of you in one thing, okay? I like that. Yeah. Who we are and who God is, I think we talked about that last week. He did? Man, you guys are both cheaters. It's awesome. So last week, guys, we started with the foundation of if we know who God is, then we can better know who we are. So if we understand who the God of creation is, the God that built this entire world and this universe, and then created us and loved us more than anything else that he created, and wants to have that relationship with you, once you understand who God is, the qualities that he has. We talked about some of his qualities, some of his attributes. You guys remember some of those things we talked about last week? What are some of the qualities of God? Amazing, okay? Yeah. Loving, caring. Someone else. What are some of the things about God, some of the attributes of God? Forgiving. Yep. Generous. Good. What else? What other things make up the God of creation? What is strong? Man, that's really good. All-knowing. Awesome. God is all of those things and more. And because of who he is, you guys can know who you are. And I know in middle school, thinking back to when I was a middle schooler, I was trying to figure out who I was. And I was finding my identity in different types of things, in friendships. Maybe some of these things you can relate some of these things. Friendships, sports, popularity, the things I spent my time in. Can you guys relate with some of those things? Maybe the things that I spent the most time in were the things that I thought made me happy, the things that brought me satisfaction. But really, when it came down to it, all I was doing was searching for my identity. I was searching for who I was and trying to figure that out. So I just want to remind you guys, that's a totally normal thing to do and to feel when you're in middle school. To search for your identity, to find that. And we want you guys to find that here at Eastside, here in your life group. We want you to find that in God, okay? So that's where we started. Today we're going to talk about facing something difficult. Anybody here ever face something difficult? Okay. Facing something difficult and watching God work in the supernatural. Watching God work in the miraculous, in the things that we really can't explain. That's what we're going to talk about today. So, Incredibles 1, anybody here still like Incredibles 1 better? Does not suck? No way. Incredible 2 is the worst movie ever, quote. Okay, I like Incredibles 1. I think I'm going to go home and watch that tonight. But tell me, real quickly, what supernatural, super strength the dad has. What does he have? Did you say big bod? Yeah, big body, yes. He's very strong. He has superhuman strength. What about Elastigirl? Flexible. She's stretchy, right? Elastic, she's stretchy, she's super flexible. What about Violet? The daughter. Can turn invisible, make force fields. Obviously, that was very helpful at the end, or they all would have died. What about Dash? Dash the Flash, right? Super speed, super fast. And what about baby Jack Jack? Everything? So, let me bring this in. So, that entire movie, did Jack Jack have powers? He might have, but he didn't show any of them, right? They thought Jack Jack was the normal one in the family, right? But then at the end of the movie, when the entire family is about to, when they're stuck in that trance in what's the guy's name, the villain? Syndrome. When he takes Jack Jack, they think, he's taking our son, and he's gone. But Jack Jack starts to display something supernatural, something, he starts to have these qualities that they had never seen in him before. And they just all of a sudden show up. And they're saved, right? Jack is saved. Syndrome goes into the plane, blows up. Good stuff. Bad guy dies. But that whole movie, Jack, just the family thought he was normal until something incredible happened. Something supernatural, something that no one expected. I don't think the first time I watched that movie I expected that to happen. Like, I don't know. I just didn't expect it to happen. But that moment with Jack makes me think of the story of Elijah, because something happened miraculous, and to most of the people that were there with Elijah, it was a supernatural type event. It was something that only God could have had his hand in. And this was the story of Elijah at Mount Carmel. You don't have to tell me the story, but somebody raise your hand if you know the story of Elijah and the sacrifice at Mount Carmel. Anybody? Okay, cool. So we got a new story to tell you guys, and I'm going to summarize it, okay? But let me give you kind of a summary. Let me tell you a little bit about Elijah. Elijah was a prophet of God. Anybody know here? Anybody know what a prophet was? What they did? Yeah. Yes, they told things about God. God actually spoke to them. They actually were messengers of God. God spoke to them in visions, in dreams, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. God spoke to these people specifically to tell his people what God wanted them to know. So Elijah was a prophet, and he was sent by God to deliver messages to Israel, God's people, the children of Israel. Okay? And so in Elijah's life, as he's being a prophet, taking God's word out, there is this king that is really evil. And his name was King Ahab. Anybody ever heard of King Ahab? Okay? So King Ahab hated Elijah. So obviously he wasn't godly. He worshiped false gods. He murdered people unjustly. He had idols built up for people to worship. He had false prophets. He tried to turn people away from God's plan. If you're messing with a communion cup, can you please put that down? Thank you. So, God sent Elijah into Israel to do something really hard, and that was to perform a miracle, all while being right in front of Ahab. And whenever Elijah was around Ahab, there was going to be danger for him, right? Elijah's life was always at risk. But as a prophet, and as someone who found his identity in God alone, that made up everything that he was, Elijah was not afraid. He was not afraid to do what God wanted to do. So this is what happened. Elijah called for Ahab and all of Ahab's false prophets to a duel, to a battle, to a sacrifice before the false gods of Ahab and his kingdom and the one and true God of Elijah. And so what they did is they created this altar for a sacrifice. And long story short, the prophets of Baal, who was the false god that Ahab and his followers worshipped, they had 400 prophets. They were worshiping this false god Baal and crying out for rain. Okay? And they were crying out. They were crying out for this sacrifice to be taken, for fire to come down and the sacrifice to be taken. So they went around and around doing this all day. It's actually a really funny story. Elijah actually made fun of them while they were doing it. And he said things like, maybe your God's out on vacation, maybe he's in the restroom, really just roasting them the whole time. And they do this all day, and nothing happens. And then Elijah, to show how great his God was, had the people do this. He had them pour water all over the sacrifice on the altar. So like a calf that was on the altar to be burned as a sacrifice, he had them pour water on it. He had them fill up this trench all the way around the sacrifice so that God's power would be shown. And this is how God did it. So he did that, and then he prayed, and God sent fire from heaven. Anybody here ever seen fire from heaven?
I haven't. I've seen some tall bonfires, but never fire from heaven. And God sends a fire from heaven, and it completely engulfs the sacrifice. It burns up the sacrifice. It burns up the stone altar. You guys ever seen fire so hot that it burns stone? I haven't seen that. It burned up all the water. I'm guessing, a huge trench full of water. It burned up all that, completely dry. And so Elijah does this, and he asks God to show himself. And he does, right? So Elijah has done something incredible. All the prophets of Baal that were followers of Ahab, they actually lost their life because of this. They were killed by Israel's priests. And this was a great victory, right? A great victory for God's people. King Ahab was proved to be wrong. But Elijah still faced difficult things in his life. Shortly after that, King Ahab, his wife, Queen Jezebel. Anybody ever heard of Queen Jezebel? A few of us, okay, maybe heard the name. She also hated Elijah. So much so that she sent people, I think King Ahab maybe had a little bit of fear of what Elijah, what he could do for God. Queen Jezebel, she was so prideful and full of herself, she just sent people to kill Elijah. And Elijah had just seen God bring fire from heaven. Elijah had seen the greatest thing any of us could probably ever see in our life. But do you guys know what Elijah did? What did he do when Queen Jezebel sent people to kill him? He ran. He ran away. He lost his confidence. He lost his hope. He lost his trust in God completely. He lost everything that God showed him. So even though God is listening to our prayers like he did with Elijah, even though God could be trusted, even though, like you guys said, God is all powerful, he's all knowing, he's generous, he's kind, he's always looking out for us. And Elijah did something difficult and stood out for God. Elijah still faced a time in his life when he was scared, when he lost a little bit of his identity in God, where he lost his trust, his confidence, his hope in God. And so he ran away. He ran away. And this is what happened when he ran away. 1 Kings 19, 3 through 4 is going to be up here on the screen. This is what happened when he ran away. Go to the next verse for me. 11 through 13. Perfect. Okay. But now you tell me to go to my master and say, Elijah is here. I don't know where the Spirit of the Lord may carry you when I leave you. If I go and tell Ahab and he doesn't find you, he will kill me. Yet your servant have worshiped the Lord since my youth. So this is Elijah speaking to God. Elijah's saying, if Ahab doesn't find me, I'll be able to worship you. But now you tell me to go to my master and say, let's go to the next one. Sorry. Haven't you heard, my Lord, what I did while Jezebel was killing the prophets of the Lord? I hid 150 of the Lord's prophets in 2 caves, 50 in each, and supplied them with food and water. So Elijah is hiding in a cave, okay? So it kind of seems like a noble thing that Elijah did, right? He went and he hid God's prophets. But at the same time, Elijah was still lacking a trust and a confidence in God, right? He still didn't believe that God, if he didn't run, would come through. And he feared for his life. He had a struggle with his identity. And Elijah encountered God in a couple different ways here. He encountered God and he responded to God with this. He said, God, this is what I've done. He said, where your spirit is, he said, that's where I will worship you. But God said, hey, I'm going to supply your needs. I'm going to look out for you. And God didn't treat him harshly. Isn't that cool? God didn't treat him harshly. God didn't get angry with Elijah. He didn't take Elijah's life. He didn't take away his privilege of being a prophet, a messenger of God. Instead, he supplied his needs. He loved on him. He reached out to him. And these are the things that show us who God is. They're going to be up here on the screen. These are the things that show us who God is when we're afraid. So if you're trying to figure things out in your life, if you're trying to figure out who you are and you're afraid, you lack confidence, you don't know who to trust, you don't know where your relationship with God is and how you can follow him, these are the ways and the things that we can trust God for. He's gentle when we're scared. He's always gentle. He's going to love you when you're scared. He's going to be gentle with you. He's understanding when we are confused. You guys ever get confused? I get confused sometimes weekly. Sometimes every week I'm like, what am I doing the right things? Is this what God wants me to do right now? Am I just living for myself? He's gentle. He comforts when we're confused. He protects us when we're afraid of something. And I'm not talking about being afraid of, ghosts or supernatural things or things like that. I'm talking about being afraid of something ahead of you in your life. Something that you're facing, a challenge, something difficult, something that you might be struggling with. He's gentle when you do that. He is with you when you feel alone. He's with you when you feel alone. I don't know when you guys feel alone. Maybe it's at home, at school, wherever you are, he's with you. You have to cry out to him. You have to speak to him. He's with you when you feel alone. And then lastly, he speaks to us when we listen. He speaks to us when we listen. I just remember the scripture that talks about be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to get angry. And it's something I've taken with me over the last several years. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. When we listen to God, when we ask God to pour into us and to meet us where we're at, when we're facing something hard, like Elijah was, when we're running, when we're afraid, when we're trying to figure out what our identity is and where that is found. God does all these things for us, guys. He comforts you. He's gentle with you. He's kind. He loves you. He's with you. He's listening to you. So when you go to your life groups, I want you to think about and talk about this with your life groups. Talk about something difficult that you faced in your life or something difficult that you're facing right now. And talk about how God meets you where you're at. Or if you haven't felt that, share that with your life group so that your life group can encourage you, so that they can pray for you, so that they can show you God's love and remind you that God is with you. God is always for you. God is always comforting, and he's gentle with you, okay? So we're going to talk about that in life groups. We're going to talk about God being so good to us and meeting us where we're at, okay? So let me pray, and you guys go to your life groups. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for these students up here. God, thank you for middle school service today. Thank you for our worship, for that amazing song that my friend David sang, that there's nothing else that matters but you. God, help us find our identity and who we are in you alone. I thank you for these students. I thank you for these leaders. God, I ask that in their group time, that they would be able to grow together and share things together so that they can become stronger followers of you, Jesus. And we give you the rest of this day. And everybody said, amen. All right, guys. You guys can head off to your life groups. We'll see you later.
Always.